This is Matthew Cratter from Trader University, and today I want to talk about a crypto called PAX Gold or PAXG, which a lot of you have asked me about. I'm calling PAXG a joke in the sense that this car being pulled by a horse is a joke, and that's going to make a lot more sense after you watch this video. So the whole point of owning a bearer asset like gold, like Bitcoin, is to actually have possession of it. In the case of gold, you want to own physical gold and have possession of it. In the case of Bitcoin, you want to make sure you're holding your own private keys and you're not leaving your Bitcoin on an exchange. This is what a bearer asset is. It's something that has zero counterparty risk and cannot be turned off by a third party. By contrast, if you own stocks or bonds, your brokerage account can be frozen. The issuer of those, for example, the issuer of the bonds, can refuse to pay you interest, etc. So there's counterparty risk and there's account risk as well. But you don't have this if you hold physical gold or if you hold Bitcoin, for example, on a hardware wallet. This is one of the problems with gold ETFs like GLD. They are not true bearer assets. They have counterparty risk where you have to trust the custodian is actually holding the underlying physical gold, and you also have to trust your brokerage account not to freeze your account. I talk about this more in a video that I'll link to below called The Dangers of Gold ETFs. But today we want to talk about PAXG, PAX Gold. This is a question that Harry asked. What do you think of PAXG? Is it safe from government manipulation? PAXG or PAX Gold it's a crypto. It's an ERC20 token. So it's built on the Ethereum network, and each of the tokens is backed by one fine troy ounce of gold, and the gold is held in Brinks vaults, Brinks bullion vaults. If you're finding this video helpful so far, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. So what I'm going to contend in this video is that PAXG, PAX Gold, is really the worst of both worlds. It's not a good way to hold gold, and it's not a good way to hold a crypto asset. So with PAXG, you still have to trust the custodian like a gold ETF like GLD. You still need to hope that the custodian's insurance company will be able to make good on claims if the gold is lost, stolen, confiscated by the government. And this is exactly what you don't want to have to depend on. The real reason to own physical gold or Bitcoin is you think there's going to be a huge economic disruption, whether hyperinflation or a collapse of the banking system or a collapse of the financial system. And in this case, you don't want to have to rely on financial intermediaries like brokers or insurance companies, because at the point that the financial system is coming, the wheels are coming off, you don't want to have to rely on a custodian, on an insurance company, or on a broker. You also still need to hope that the government doesn't freeze Paxos or confiscate the Brinks vault gold when you need it the most. This is what happened in 1933 when President Roosevelt signed Executive Order 6102 and basically confiscated all of Americans' gold apart from you were still allowed to hold small amounts of jewelry, etc. But this was confiscated. This gold was confiscated so that Roosevelt could devalue the dollar against gold, and this is how the gold eventually ended up in Fort Knox, if it's actually still there. So this is why the only way to hold gold that makes sense, if you're going to trade it intraday, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, you can do something like GLD. But if you want to hold it as insurance, as what you might call schmuck insurance or insurance against the whole system collapsing, it doesn't make any sense to hold it in a bank or to have counterparty risk as you do with GLD. You want to actually have those gold coins or physical gold in your possession. So PAX Gold is really no better than a gold ETF, except for the fact that it can be traded 24/7, presumably on a crypto exchange, and it settles more quickly. It has instant settlement, whereas GLD will take 2 or 3 days to settle. So it's no better than a gold ETF. If you're day trading gold, I'm not sure this is the best use of the asset. It's not very volatile. So the only real reason to trade to hold gold is to hold it as schmuck insurance and to hold it as a bearer asset. So PAX Gold, the fact that you can trade it more quickly than GLD doesn't really make a lot of sense. They're much better trading vehicles that have more volatility and more momentum. So PAXG is no better than a gold ETF, but it actually gets worse because if you own PAX Gold, you also have exposure to the Ethereum network. As I said, PAX Gold is an ERC20 token, which means it's built on Ethereum. And the problem with this is you have exposure to Vitalik, you have exposure to Infura, you have exposure to Amazon Web Services. You can shut down the Ethereum network by basically making one phone call to Infura and another phone call to AWS, Amazon Web Services. We can see that whenever Infura goes down, it causes huge problems in the Ethereum infrastructure. So let's assume that we have this financial collapse and there's some government intervention. They tell Amazon Web Services and Infura to turn off Ethereum. You're going to have a huge problem. So in many ways, this makes it even worse than holding a gold ETF. But again, you have that same government intervention risk, and you can have the government putting a lot of pressure on Joe Lubin and Vitalik to turn off Infura and to turn off. You could also make a call to Amazon Web Services. This is why I compared PAX Gold to a horse-drawn car. People who you could understand with new technologies why they are slow to give up the former way of doing things, but it doesn't make any sense to have a horse-drawn car. The whole point of a car is that it's an autonomous vehicle, and you don't need a living animal to pull it. So I hear this a lot, especially from people over the age of 50, which includes myself. But these people will say, oh, I'll only trust a crypto that's backed by real things like the US dollar. Of course, the US dollar is a highly manipulated, politicized currency, but they'll say, I'll only trust a crypto that's backed by real things like the US dollar, by gold, by crude oil, etc. But I think this misses the whole point of the Bitcoin revolution. And companies like Paxos, they try to capitalize on this misunderstanding. Paxos Gold is basically like a car manufacturer who sells you a car and a horse because they can make more money. Whereas what only makes sense is to actually sell you a car once you understand the whole point of a car. So PAX Gold misses the whole point of the Bitcoin revolution. Of course, they're getting paid to miss this point and to sell PAX Gold to people. But the whole point of the Bitcoin revolution is that Bitcoin is a digital native asset. It doesn't need to be backed by a scarce commodity. And if you really understand gold and why it has value because it has very low inflation rate. It's very hard to mine more gold even with high gold prices. And as such, it has a very high stock to flow, which is another way of saying that gold is valuable. Because it is physically scarce, Bitcoin in the same way is valuable because it is digitally scarce. And it's the only truly neutral, decentralized crypto asset. You have all these other cryptocurrencies. They tend not to be neutral or decentralized. They tend to be controlled by insiders like Vitalik Buterin or Charles Hoskinson or the Ripple company in the case of XRP. Only Bitcoin has had this immaculate conception. It's not run by its founder anymore. It's not run by oligarchs who get to change the monetary policy whenever they want. It is like a digital commodity, a digital bearer asset. And Bitcoin stands on its own as such as a store of value, just like a car stands on its own. You don't need to back Bitcoin with gold because Bitcoin is digital gold. In the same way, a car does not need a horse because a car uses the internal combustion engine and uses fossil fuels, or in the case of electric cars, uses batteries, uses electricity to run. So Bitcoin does not need to be backed by shiny yellow rocks. The whole point of Bitcoin is to move beyond the gold standard, which basically failed because gold has to be held in a very centralized manner because it's very difficult to move around. And as such, the gold standard led directly to the fiat standard. And we want something better than that. We want something where everyone can hold their own Bitcoin as a bearer asset. They don't need to keep it in bank vaults, and they don't need to trust a company like the Paxos Trust Company to back it. And I think this is something that the younger generations instinctively understand. For example, my kids understand that Robux, they have their own value. Now, it's not an exact comparison because Robux are really a utility token that you can use to play Roblox games. But the younger generations, they're not interested in shiny yellow rocks. They're interested in digital assets. And as such, there's really only one truly neutral, truly decentralized digital asset, and that is Bitcoin. It doesn't need to be backed by anything, and I think the younger generations instinctively understand this. And as such, gold will face huge demographic headwinds as the younger generations inherit their parents' and grandparents' gold. They'll be highly tempted to sell it and convert it to digital assets like Bitcoin. And as such, this gives Bitcoin some real tailwinds, and it gives gold, physical gold, headwinds. So as such, Paxos, PAXG, PAX Gold really is the worst of both worlds. It's like a car that's being pulled by a horse. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. And let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.